breaking news: a massive tornado nearly a mile wide levels huge sections of Joplin, Missouri. At least 89 people are confirmed dead, many others still missing, as emergency crews desperately search through the debris for survivors. Al's on the scene in a town struggling to cope with disaster today, Monday, May 23rd, 2011.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Monday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
I'm Meredith Vieira, and your heart goes out to everyone in Joplin when you see these devastating images of what that tornado did yesterday.
When we arrived this morning, we knew this was a bad story. We were hearing 25 to 30 people had died in the last couple of hours. That number has shot up to 89, and it could go even higher. So this is just getting worse by the hour.
Yeah, and they're saying 25 to 30% of the city damaged by the tornado.
Among the buildings that took a direct hit, the town's hospital. Doctors and nurses had just moments to scramble patients into hallways. Now, to give you a sense of the twister's power, X-rays and some medical records from inside that hospital building have now been found more than 60 miles away.
Missouri's governor immediately declared a state of emergency and activated the National Guard. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into debris fields littered with the splintered remains of homes, cars, and trees. And this morning, even more severe weather could be on the way. We're going to get right to Al Roker. Al, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt and Meredith. And was St. John's Hospital. This is a parking lot. There were cars there, completely packed. The cars are now strewn everywhere. As far as the eye can see, 360 degrees of devastation. Take a look. We'll show you the radar as it comes in. This is the radar, and bringing in that line of thunderstorms. And by 6:45, boom, it just comes slamming into Joplin, Missouri, creating what is now the deadliest tornado in Missouri history. And with 89 people confirmed dead, and that number likely to rise. To give you a sense of this devastation, the 360-degree arc, this was a neighborhood. And as far as the eye can see, there is nothing but devastation. And as those search and rescue teams go into these neighborhoods looking for survivors, or worse, the cleanup is just beginning.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Got it. There. Oh, my gosh.
The eye of the storm, Joplin, Missouri.
That is a monster tornado.
A massive 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile wide tornado tore through Joplin, throwing debris 18,000 feet into the air.
Bad. Oh, my gosh. This is awful.
What that was.
This is... Look at that. That is destroyed.
This was an F4, F5.
This was... Dude, the trees are debarked.
City streets and neighborhoods stripped bare in moments. Within minutes, rescue workers raced to the scene, trying to save those trapped in the rubble. The Weather Channel's Mike Bettis was chasing the tornado when it hit ground. He arrived here in Joplin about 10 minutes after the tornado hit.
We just rolled up on this tornado, came through maybe 45 minutes ago. I've personally witnessed injuries and fatalities here, unfortunately, in Joplin. We're just going through the neighborhood here, trying to figure out if anyone else needs help. People are just scrambling right now. I want you to kind of take a scope of the damage, just kind of taking my breath away here. Multiple homes, businesses destroyed, cars that have been flipped, mangled debris everywhere you look. People are trying to just help people out any way they can. People being pulled out of buildings here this evening as well. We've come across many people. They need help. They need to get as much help in this area as possible. I think they're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of damage, the amount of injuries and fatalities they have here. They need help in Joplin.
I got in the basement and put my hands over my head, and the building caved in on me. But my office is gone where I've worked for 20 years.
One of the area's primary sources of emergency care, St. John's Regional Medical Center, was destroyed.
The backup generators got hit, no power. They were just literally nothing but darkness. And when the wind just started blowing the doors open and stuff started just flying and cracking, and we all got down on the floor and just prayed that we made it through.
The raw emotion of the moment was difficult, even for a seasoned reporter.
People are just looking for their loved ones. They're looking for family members. If you take a look here at this neighborhood, all I can say is it looks very reminiscent of what we saw last month in, in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, it's tough. No question about that. It's a very tragic scene in Joplin, Missouri. Just tornado devastation as far as the eye can see, and off in the distance there, beyond the firefighters there, they're doing search and rescue right now. We even have fires that are erupting in Joplin. It really is an unfolding scene, changes minute by minute. Neighbors are trying to they just pulled out their dog, right? That is great. They just pulled the dog. He looks to be okay out of the house there. That's great news. We know that neighbors have been telling us, I know my neighbor's in there. I just can't get to him. It's too dangerous for me to get in there. And there just aren't enough first responders here right now to deal with the immense tragedy that is here.
Joplin wasn't the only Midwest area hit hard this weekend.
Yeah, it's coming!
Tornadoes touched down in Oklahoma and in Minneapolis, killing at least one person there. Hail the size of golf balls pelted Nebraska. But back here in hard-hit Joplin, as dusk settled, so did the harsh reality of all that's been lost.
Here they had a theater, and they had a play in it this evening, and we had to dig through there and actually did have a couple dead in there.
And joining me now, the Weather Channel's Mike Bettis. And Mike, that was incredible reporting on an incredible situation. Has it all sunk in yet?
Sort of. I don't think any of us ever really think we'll be witness to something like this, and I think I just got overcome. So many people here are devastated. They're just very, very emotional, and that kind of carries over when you're out there and you're looking at it. But it's something that, you look at it now, it's completely flattened, and it's very, very tough for the people that live here, and it's tough to be amongst this, especially when you're here. We're literally here 10 minutes after the tornado hit.
And you got held up by hail from this tornado, which probably saved your life.
We have been out here on a 2-week project with the Weather Channel, storm chasing. We targeted this storm. It hailed and rained so hard we had to stop in our vehicles. Had we not done that, we would have been right here in Joplin when the tornado hit. Luckily, our crew is fine. They're safe. But, a lot of people aren't, and our hearts go out to them.
Probably will never be the same again. Yeah. All right, Mike Bettis, thank you so much for your work. Very good. And the sad part is now, guys, we have to worry about another risk, a strong risk of devastating weather here, and it's a wide swath stretching from Dallas all the way into the northeast. But as you take a look, as far as this area, Missouri, is concerned, you can see from Dallas on up into Springfield and Little Rock, we are looking at the possibility of strong storms, tornadoes possible here, and we've also got to add to that strong rain, heavy rain coming in. You can look on the radar. Right now we've got clear skies, but it's going to be firing up again. Rainfall amounts anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain, and so we have flood watches and flood warnings up for a good portion of Missouri. And as you can see, those rainfall amounts anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. But the big fear is right now, Matt, that if there is a tornado here, God forbid there's nowhere to go. There is no place for anybody to take shelter. There is no shelter. And so we pray to God that this does not happen again. We don't have a repeat of this later on today. Matt?
All right, Al, our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to the people of Joplin and the other hard-hit areas, and thanks for your reporting this morning. Try to imagine what it's like to survive something like this. Well, a group of people rode out that tornado at a gas station in Joplin and posted their chilling experience on YouTube. Listen to the terror in their voices as the twister hits.
It's okay. I think we're going to do it.
Mitch Randles is the fire chief in Joplin, Missouri. Chief Randles, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Just give me a sense where you're concentrating and your personnel are concentrating their efforts this morning.
Well, we've completed or working to complete a initial search of the damage area, which is about a 6 mile wide, or I'm sorry, 6 mile long, half-mile wide swath through about the center portion of Joplin. In about an hour, we're going to swap out those crews that have been up all night in searching those areas with some fresh crews and start a grid door-to-door search of those areas again in the sunlight and daylight, looking for survivors, people that are trapped, and just people in need of assistance, so we can steer them towards the assistance that they need.
Chief, Al Roker's just talked about the weather forecast is iffy for today. There could be more severe weather in that area. Where are you taking people, because there are no shelters there anymore, to get them out of harm's way?
Well, actually, we do have a few shelters that we've opened. One is at Missouri Southern State College, and I believe the other is at one of our middle schools here in town. We are trying to get those folks in out of the weather in case that weather does actually come to fruition here. We're of course hoping for no more weather like we had yesterday, and of course the rain is going to hamper some of the rescue efforts and make it a little bit more difficult for us to get out there and do the rescues and the searching for the trapped and the injured still.
Chief, you obviously your official duties are to oversee this search and rescue and recovery effort, but you're a resident as well, and I understand you lost your own home.
Yep. Yes, I did.
Is your family okay? Was anyone there?
Yes, luckily we were attending my son's graduation at the local high school last night when the storm warnings went out, so I just took them to work with me to the fire station, and so I did have my entire family with me at the fire station when it did hit and destroy our home.
Well, I'm sorry for the loss of your home. We obviously are thinking about all the people in that area who lost not only homes but loved ones, and our best wishes to you, Chief. Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, thank you.
It's 11 after the hour. Here's Meredith.